have been those months where I can say to myself that I've done my bit. And no regrets. I've ensured that I've touched so many crores of people. And I have, that's what gives me the satisfaction that even if I were to step down today, I have absolutely no regrets. I'm more than happy.
And you're going to and significantly, here is the Chief Minister who says, I'm going to the people of Andhra Pradesh in 2024 asking for votes on my record, right? Which the opposition is saying, we're ready to challenge you. You're saying, bring it on.
Absolutely, Rajiv. In fact, all of my speeches in public meetings these days, I've been just telling one thing. If you have benefited from our governance, only then stand with me.
That's very bold. That shows a sense of confidence. And maybe that's one of the changes that's come from the young man who I met in 2009, who was at that time accused of being rather brash. Now I see the young man self-confident and ready to reach out to the people based on his work that he says he's done in the last 5 years. We'll see which way the people of Andhra Pradesh vote in a few months from now. But for now, for giving us your vision, particularly in the education sector and the road ahead, the Andhra model of education, as we are now going to call it, Jagan Mohan Reddy, ladies and gentlemen, please give him a very big hand. Thank you so much. That was Jagan Mohan Reddy speaking to me at the Education Summit of India today. You can watch the full interview on the weekend. We'll wait and see how that plays out. But up next is our ground report. It's 3 days now.
Is it easier
now, 5 years, when you go to the people asking for votes on governance? Or is it easier when you were in the opposition in 2019, having done your yatra and taking on the Chandrababu Naidu government? Are you feeling more confident today than you were in 2019? Honest answer.
Rajdeep, hope is always stronger than reality. That having said, in this particular case, in my case, I would definitely say one thing. What has been done, what has been promised, what has been done.
Pure Wash Electronic Seat.
If one were to see the manifesto,
this intelligent.
99% of our manifesto has been implemented. Not only implemented, but taken to the people as well, shown that manifesto once again, and that manifesto is also ratified by people. That is the kind of credibility that is in place in this government. And the kind of transformations that took place. We've brought in a village secretariat at the village level. For every 2,000 population, there is a village secretariat. For every 60 to 70 houses, there is a volunteer in place. Every scheme is given to every deserving person without any discrimination or without any corruption. Everything is DBT.
Direct benefit transfer, you're claiming that you're going this time to the elections on the basis of your manifesto, which you claim you've implemented, and your welfare measures across sectors, and putting money in people's banks. Am I correct?
The important thing is, Rajdeep, DBT is one part of the whole transformation. But the whole thing is your schools have changed. Your health sector, the health sector has changed. The governance model has changed. Women empowerment has changed. And added to this, you're bringing in a DBT which is directly into the hands of the people without any corruption or any discrimination. That is the most, all this put together would ensure that that my government would be re-elected.
You're saying you'll be re-elected. You're saying you'll be re-elected on the welfare measures that you brought in. But this time it seems somehow that the entire opposition or a major part of it is targeting you. They're saying Jagan Mohan Reddy's government riddled with corruption. They will target you and they consistently say promises not met. Is that now, do you feel cornered in some way when every party here seems to make you the target?
I think no opposition can say promises have not met. No opposition can speak about corruption. With 2,53,000 crores of rupees through DBT in these 56 months. That is the kind of money that we're talking about. And the worst part is, it's the same government, it's the same budget. The growth rate in debt also, when compared to my previous regime, is less in our regime. So how is it that a government, same budget, the only change is the chief minister? They could not do it. This government could do it. And people are actually the witness to it.
You mentioned briefly their government versus your government, effectively referring to your predecessor, Chandrababu Naidu. Chandrababu Naidu and his team say that you have used state power to target them. You've stifled them. Their voice has been silenced. The former chief minister went to jail a couple of months ago. He blamed you for pushing, he said, cases against him, which he said was illegal. His arrest was illegal. Your response, this charge of vendetta politics, of settling scores in Andhra Pradesh?
Absolutely not, Rajdeep. See, the fact that he was arrested is because of the corruption charges that are leveled against him. And all these corruption charges have gone to the court. I mean, he fought tooth and nail in the court. And the judge and the judges at various levels were convinced with the evidences that were available, that were produced, which actually resulted in he being in prison for those 52 days or those 2 months. So how can anybody say that it is vendetta politics?
He says misuse of state CID.
See, basically, Rajdeep, nobody can misuse any government agency because ultimately the litmus test would be the courts. See, anybody who is arrested would obviously go to the court. And in those courts, if the courts are not convinced that there is sufficient evidence there, then you fall flat. And more so in these particular high-profile cases, especially when the elections are around the corner, no chief minister would take that risk of arresting somebody until and unless the case is very strong, until and unless there is substantial evidence.
Who's your main opposition, though, in 2024? Is it the national parties like the Congress and the BJP, or is it Chandrababu Naidu who's tied up with Pawan Kalyan's Jan Sena? Is Andhra Pradesh this unique state where the fight is going to be between two powerful regional parties, YSRCP versus Telugu Desam? Telugu Desam Jan Sena.
In Andhra Pradesh, Rajdeep, the national parties, both of them are insignificant. Congress or the BJP, they do not have much of a presence here. Yes, the fight would be obviously our party, YSRCP, against the combined forces of Telugu Desam Party and Janasena, both of them. And of course, they have other like-minded people and parties supporting them who come together and fight against us.
You know, you were making the headlines, or your party has been making the headlines because 3 of your MPs have resigned, a third resigned this week. Apparently, many of them are being denied tickets. You dropped 58 MLAs and you're dropping 10 MPs. Is this a reflection that there could be anti-incumbency. Why are you dropping so many sitting MLAs and MPs if there is no anti-incumbency? And if they are leaving your party, what is the signal that's being sent out?
See, the fact is, Rajdeep, every party conducts their own surveys. And every party, based on those surveys, based on the perception they believe in, they would actually make these changes. See, the fact is, there is a government which is delivered. People are happy with the government. That's what we strongly believe. That's what the surveys, what we have conducted, have also revealed. But there are a lot of cases where the perception on the MLAs and the local leaders per se is not all that good. So at times, based on various caste dynamics, based on perception, that a party would be forced to make these changes. And in our case, elections just round the corner, just 70 or 80 days down the line. Rather than making those changes at the last minute and creating a lot of confusion, we decided that we will make those changes now itself, so that the entire confusion comes up now itself and it dies down before the elections come any closer.
Basically, you don't want to make the same mistakes that K. Chandrasekhar Rao made in Telangana, where he didn't change sufficient number of sitting MLAs. It's interesting how you're sort of putting it, but you said your main rivals are the regional parties, the Chandrababu Naidu and the Janasena, which leaves open the question the national parties. We saw Mr. Naidu at the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha ceremony. He seems to want to go close to the BJP. You seem to have given issue-based support to the BJP in parliament on various issues. How do we read this? Is every Andhra party wooing the BJP and Prime Minister Modi?
So we've always maintained our line, Rajdeep. So it's very important that the state maintains a cordial relationship with the central government. It's very important that it is required for the development of the state. So we've maintained that line. And while maintaining so, we've ensured that every subject is thoroughly looked into, and issue-based support is extended.
Issue-based support. So if even after the 2024 elections, if you win, you would provide issue-based support to whoever comes to power at the center, or specifically the BJP?
Let's revisit this topic when it's the right time.
But issue-based support for now, right?
Absolutely.
For now, issue-based support, which leaves the Congress party. Because that also is, Andhra is making headlines again, because guess what? The Congress party has chosen to make your sister, Y.S. Sharmila, their party chief. I know this is difficult, but is it that the legacy of Y.S. Rajshekhar Reddy is now going to be split within the family? How do you respond that you may well have to go into this election with your sister on the other side?
Congress is basically playing dirty, Rajdeep. Congress has got this tradition of playing dirty as far as state politics are concerned, in our states more specifically. They have divided the state for their own political gains. Unjustly divided the state, more so. Divide and rule. Be it the state, divide and rule, be it our family. Even when I had gone against the Congress party, they had pitted my own uncle. They had made him a minister, and they had forced him to contest against me when I had broken away from Congress party, when I had resigned from the Congress party in those days, and contested on our own party. The Congress always does this. They divide and rule. Unfortunately, now, once again, they've not learned their lessons. So once again, they've divided my family, brought in my sister to actually lead their party. But unfortunately, what they do not understand is ultimately there is a greater power than the Congress party or any of the parties here. There's a God there. And ultimately, God would ensure that these people are taught a lesson properly.
Are you angry, bitter? Because, you know, when I look at it, your father, late father, was the one who helped the Congress form a government in 2004. There would have been no UPA government without Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy, both in 2004 and certainly in 2004, to some extent 2009. Are you angry, bitter, or it's part of life?
There were days, Rajdeep, when that bitterness was there. But as we moved on, ultimately, it is God who it's God whom I strongly believe in that. That ultimately, eventually, God is watching. So whatever they have done, they probably would have reaped by now, seeing what the plight of Congress party today is, or probably going forward, it might even get worse off. It's only God who can decide.
You know, it's interesting we are referring to God while we are here in Tirupati. So let me end by, in a way, reflecting back from the Jagan Mohan Reddy that I first met about 15, 16 years ago when you first became a member of parliament. You've gone through all the ups and downs. What's the biggest change from the Jagan Mohan Reddy that I met 15, 16 years ago as a young man entering politics to Jagan Mohan Reddy now, a chief minister for 5 years, who's willing to go to the people on his track record, as you've told me in this interview? What's the biggest change that we've seen in you?
Change seen in me? Not sure, Rajdeep. I think you're a better judge. Probably you would be a better judge, probably, to tell me the change.
Well, one change I've seen, you're more cautious, careful, and you're also focusing almost entirely on governance more than politics. I want to tell this audience, when we were coming here, there was a young girl who came up to Jagan Mohan Reddy and said, thank you, and put out the tablet that she had received on your birthday and said, I've got this because of you. Is that what gives you a sense of satisfaction at the end of these 5 years? That if there are hundreds and thousands of that little girl out there who've got tablets, who perhaps have this opportunity for a quality education that you're promising them, that's what will give you the greatest satisfaction.
Absolutely, Rajdeep. These 56 months, I'd say, Rajdeep, have been those months where I can say to myself that I've done my bit. And no regrets. I've ensured that I've touched so many crores of people. And I have, that's what gives me the satisfaction that even if I were to step down today, I have absolutely no regrets. I'm more than happy.
And you're going to and significantly, here is the Chief Minister who says, I'm going to the people of Andhra Pradesh in 2024 asking for votes on my record, right? Which the opposition is saying, we're ready to challenge you. You're saying, bring it on.
Absolutely, Rajdeep. In fact, all of my speeches in public meetings these days, I've been just telling one thing. If you have benefited from our governance, only then stand with me.
That's very bold. That shows a sense of confidence. And maybe that's one of the changes that's come from the young man who I met in 2009, who was at that time accused of being rather brash. Now I see the young man self-confident and ready to reach out to the people based on his work that he says he's done in the last 5 years. We'll see which way the people of Andhra Pradesh vote in a few months for now. But for now, for giving us your vision, particularly in the education sector and the road ahead, the Andhra model of education, as we are now going to call it, Jagan Mohan Reddy, ladies and gentlemen, please give him a very big hand. Thank you so much. Of getting re-elected. Is it easier now, 5 years, when you go to the people asking for votes on governance? Or is it easier when you were in the opposition in 2019, having done your yatra and taking on the Chandrababu Naidu government? Are you feeling more